P. Okay. So if you went to your software and you entered these two vendors, the one finance paper, and you put in $177, and you created you entered the bill for Con Edison, who was already created as a vendor, and you put the $328. We see here the account associated as utilities. Con Edison will be utilities. We will now create National Grid. National Grid is another vendor. It's winter now. We need gas in the office for heat. We need Con Edison for the lights to run the electricity in our computers, cotton machines, and of course the cafeteria. Who could forget about that? Um, so again, like I said, you don't have to press add new. Like you don't have to actually go to add new. I could just start typing away. I start typing National Grid. So I put an N, it thinks it means NAS paper. I keep on typing National Grid, and I press tab. Again, it's going to ask me if I want to set up or quick add. Purposes for the next 6 vendors or 5 vendors, we're just do quick add. We're not putting any information. The customers, sometimes they didn't pay us. We want to mail them out invoices. The vendors probably would say we're going to save money on stamps. We're not going to mail them out checks. Everything we're going to do from within, our quick pay or bank information, or maybe as we get we have the QuickBooks to record the actual expenses we need to put in, but when it comes to write a check, we're gonna write off the bill. Either way is fine. So we have National Grid 11.9, and what is the amount of the bill? We have $126. So actually, 126. By the way, if I was coming in from this new vendor, I would press National Grid, press tab, amount due 126. You would automatically assume that you're not entering cents. You would have to enter the cents manually. I will see the next one. So 126, there's no pennies here. Actually, nothing has pennies here. And again, this will be utilities again. So I have here National Grid, $126. Utilities. I'm reviewing this twice because I want that when we close these 7 bills, we should be able to review the amount owed to the vendors, and they should all match up. So if you have your National Grid 126, the date is not so important today. Utilities 126, I press save and new. So now we have 3 in. So we have step 1, which is 1 person, part 2, which is 2 people, Con Edison, National Grid. Then we have 5 more. We're going to have Office Depot, and we're going to have Amazon. Both items are for equipment. Okay, so we are not going to type copy machine. That I could do in the description. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write Office Depot. Office Depot. And I'm going to pause after this vendor. Office Depot, quick add. When I press tab, it's going to highlight the whole amount, as I said, including the cents. So when I type $1,200 for a copy machine, there are no pennies or cents in here. I would have to actually press the period and enter if it was a vendor that had change involved. In this case, it's a flat fee. And I'm putting in equipment. Let's see. Oh, actually, here, equipment tab. Is there something called equipment? Yes, it's called under furniture and equipment. So for purposes, again, of this class, the next 3 steps 3, 4, and 5, right? Office Depot, Amazon, Staples will be in the same classification. Goods, furniture, and equipment. So equipment will be a total of $2,079, about 1,200, another 500, 1,700, 379. If I were to make a report, it would show me expenses of furniture and equipment of 1,279, I said 2,079, but we are ending them one at a time. Furniture, equipment, again, Office Depot, $1,200. Equipment, you could type in that it was for a copy machine if you want to see it. You could itemize it or not, or you could put a memo. Quick, wow, it's such a big bill. Usually Office Depot could be $50 or $75 for paper for some other small stuff. Why is it $1,200? You put a memo. Before you get on the phone with the customer support for waiting for an hour and a half to find out what the bill was about, you'll have it, all the information in front of you. Okay, I'm going to press save and new. So we have Office Depot, $1,200, furniture and equipment. Now, who's again the vendor? We are putting in Amazon. Okay, I'm going to do Amazon. I'm going to wait again. Amazon. I might have a running commentary, but I will be pausing. Amazon for $500. Okay, so these are the fields. The vendor is the name. The amount is the 500. The account is furniture and equipment. So we put furniture and equipment. And the memo is the computer. We're writing what it's for. Right? We're not going to have, oh boy. We don't have an account called computer unless you're a company that has a whole lab and you have a dozen computers and you want to have expense called computer expense to differentiate it from tablet expense, to differentiate it from laptop expense, so you could break every account. But you can have this also in sub-accounts. You can have a furniture and equipment. And within furniture and equipment, you can have a sub-account called computers and listing everything individually. But for now, we are just doing account for furniture and equipment. And the memo will have computer, similar to the Office Depot memo, which had the copy machine. I'll wait a moment and give you a chance to look in your own software. You feel free to come back to this and look how we entered it out. Amazon, $500, furniture and equipment. Everything that was taking place on 11/9. Okay, so the customers, whether you create them 11/4 or not, and stay that way, you create it tonight, doesn't make a difference. By the time we make our report, either at the end of today, on Wednesday, on 11/11, all the data should have been put in, all the 4 invoices for the customers, all the received payments, the 4 received payments, and the 7 numbers, but there are 2 vendors, number 2, there will be 8 charges. And again, just like I received payments on check, credit card, cash to make variation, I received expenses from supplies, utilities, equipment, advertising, and rent. Okay. We see that we're going to finish in about 5 minutes. We will be able to cover step 5 because it's very short. Step 4 here is repetitive. So let me look at the Q&A. But after we do this, step 5, 6, and 7 will be within step 4. Right, part 5, 6, and 7, step 4 should take about a minute in total. Let's see here. Who was paying Canadian bill? Okay, I did not get yet to step 5. Part 5. So let's hold off a second. Menachem, what are the 2 after Amazon? After Amazon, we have 3 items, not 2. We have Staples, Ami Magazine, and we had a company called Office Rentals. Someone said he deleted a bill. He entered multiple times. I believe you could right-click on a bill after it's closed, and you could delete it. Or if you're in it, you could press right here, delete. I'm not going to delete it because I didn't even press save yet. Okay, 1 second. So show you in a second. Let's pause this. Okay, so let's say I save this vendor. So now I have a total of 5 entries. They're in order of alphabetical order. So I have Amazon, which I just did, step 4 for 500. I have Con Edison, which you put in for 328. I have National Grid for 126. I have Nest Paper for 177. And I have Office Depot for 1200. Okay, over here you don't see the memos. The memos are when you go into the invoice. If I double click on Office Depot, I see here 1200. Okay, let me wait a second. While people are still catching up because they might want to see this as well. Okay, so I have 2 people. I have Menachem and Susan asking about the transactions listed. These are listed in the email, which I sent you with the QuickBooks slides, with the presentation slides. I also have 2-page curriculum. This is based on the emails that I had prior to the second class. Anyone is missing it, you could please contact the office because I copy the office on the information that goes out so they could forward you. Usually someone in the office, at least part-time through in the middle days of the week, they could forward you any missing information. Hopefully if I get updated email list, then I could add that to that list. So if you wait a moment, you'll hear the numbers for the other companies. Okay, someone tells me I can use computers and internet as an account. You can do that. There's a reason why I didn't do it yet. For now, I'm using computers as equipment. Okay. So someone asked before how they delete a bill. If I right-click a bill, I can't delete it. But what I could do is either edit the transaction or I go into it. And once I'm in it, I can press delete, which if you did it, you could delete it. Make sure you're not deleting the last copy. If you entered it 3 times, only delete 2 of them. Okay, so that's how you delete a bill. Yeah, you go into the bill and you press delete. Okay, we still have 3 more bills to enter. So again, I'm going to do control enter bill. And again, because I was hired at Office Depot, it's going to assume Office Depot. So I got to go back, which is X. Anytime it's highlighted, if I exit out, or if I just start typing, it's going to make new text. I'm going to do now Staples. Staples is my next company. Staples for $379. In 2 minutes, I'm going to accept questions from the audience. I'm going to enable the audio quick ad. And this is Staples for $379. If I overshot the field, I don't have to use my mouse and go back. I can press Shift Tab, and I'll go in reverse. And I press 379. That's also on your. Oh, actually, the count is actually called furniture and equipment. That's just in your shortcuts. It also shows how to go backwards. Save and new. We have ad in the AMI magazine. We just opened up our office and we have AMI. Okay, AMI. You get AMI magazine, get AMI without the word magazine, however you want. But in this case, I use AMI magazine. I press quick add, and I press $250. And this is for advertising expense. It's number 1 on the expense list. Advertising and promotion. Okay. The reason why it only shows several expenses in there anymore is because once I pressed AD for ad, it brings me up to whatever has an AD, and things that don't have an AD are not listed here. So advertising promotion is 250. Double check always that you enter it right. Army Magazine 250 advertising. And that's step number 6. And I press save and new. And the rent from office rentals, I put office rentals. Yeah, that is indeed the name of a company, in this course at least. And it's $1,500 rent. Is that a lot or a little? Well, we shall see as we go along. It all depends. Is this $1,500 for a day? It's expensive. It's for a year. It's for free. Well, we'll see how long this period of time is. Right now, always put in this rent expense, save and close. Okay, let's double check 8 vendors. Amazon 500, Army Magazine 250, Con Edison 328, National Grid 126, Newspaper 177, Office Depot 1200, Office Rentals 1500, and Staples 379. If your numbers do not match this, then you should definitely stick around for questions and answers to see where you went. Okay, we're gonna stop over here. We're not gonna do step number 5. This we'll do next time. Hopefully next time we should be able to finish off steps 5 through 9, and we'll be able to finish the cycle for vendors. So far we created service items, we created customers and invoices, we received payments. We also entered some bills, and we created vendors and made bills for them, assigned expenses to accounts. And in the next session, we'll pay some of those vendors. We will pay for some new expenses without creating a bill because we're entering expenses. We're going to create new sales without invoicing. And at the end of the next class, we're going to actually make a report which will show what did we do in these 3 classes. In that class, the first one was a presentation without the software, but we're going to see how everything comes together, all these invoices and all these payments that we make. What does it do to our company? Did we make money? Did we lose money? Etc. So looking forward to see you at the next class. I'm going to now look at the Q&A. If you raise your hand, we can also enable the audio. One at a time. Okay. So we have here Menachem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's the audio come through? Do you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me clearly?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't follow the deposits at the beginning.
Okay. So as if you go to banking and you make deposits, any money that already received and not yet, the bank would pop up in the middle, in the small window in the section, like a square. Those were the 3 deposits that came up. Once it's deposited, you will not see it again because it's already in the bank. Right.
Okay, so they're all there.
This is called a make deposit. There's 2 ways to make deposits. Either taking the undeposited funds, right? You have your undeposited funds. But if you have money which was undeposited,
I don't have the same screen as you.
Which software are you using?
QuickBooks,
Accountant Desktop 2020.
Yeah.
Then and you make deposits.
I hit banking and I hit make deposits.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see it. Okay, so I think something else came on top of it. So that's blank.
Okay, so this is blank. So then you could choose received money from. Now you see you have also customers and vendors because you could receive money from customers or vendors. Previously, you only saw the customers. Separately, here you could choose the from account. Like, why did you get the money? So if you were making an initial payment, is it a loan? Is it new money going into the bank? And then the amount you'd put in the right section over here. If it's a check, you can put in a check number. So if it bounces, you know which check number went for which customer. You can
Did we make any deposits tonight?
The only deposits we made tonight were the deposits that we received last time. People that did not enter deposits last time, so I showed you this time how to receive a deposit. But I didn't do a third time going back and saying, if you receive the payment tonight, let's make a deposit, not tonight. That I didn't do. That you would have seen from the first part of the class.
Okay, so how do I deposit what? Last week I followed everything.
Okay, so again, if you
how do I deposit?
If you went to bank, that's why if you went to bank and make deposits and you close, you have to start again, close out the window and go again, make deposits. If you receive the payments, will come a little square in the center showing you the 3 checks you received, 3 payments received. But in my case, it's in the bank already. But if I go into it, you'll see that's why it's called a split deposit, because it's not only one person. It's Ploni Amoni's money, Yanko Chaim's money, and Ari Cohen's money. And I put in a check number.
That box.
Again, did you?
Am I able to share my? No.
No. So it means you didn't deposit the money yet. What's your bank
How
balance?
So where
Okay,
should I go?
let's do this way. Go to banking, use your register,
Yeah.
and chase. How much money do you have in your bank? Do you have 500 or do you have
500.
Huh?
500.
That means you did not deposit those 3. You received all 3 payments.
I don't know.
You don't know. What's your customer balance? How much does Cohen owe you?
Where's this?
Under customers, customer center.
Yeah, so Cohen owes 200, 140, 075.
So you received the payments. So you mentioned before when you went to banking the first time, it showed you a different window than mine. That was the window that has the payments.
Yeah.
So if you didn't do it, if you crossed it out, you have to close the banking window second time. Because if you ignore your undeposited funds, it's not going to come automatically. You have to close down. So I guess close down the window. Okay. Go back to.
Okay. Okay. I see. Yeah, I closed everything. I reopened it.
Now go back to make
what
deposits.
Should I do with them?
Wait, you see the 3? Now you see the 3 payments, right? Not this window. You see your 3.
Yeah.
Deposited. When you deposit it, you'll have the 1720 in the bank. So you'll see when you deposit, it's going to show it undeposited
deposit. Okay.
Yeah. And you see it's kind of the press OK.
How do I deposit them? If I press OK, they'll deposit?
Yeah, it's all in the bank.
I have to select them.
Oh, that's it. Select all. Select all. Yeah. But from there, it's intuitive. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I think it should be on order. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see who else has a question here. We have from Shimon. Has a question. Hello. Does Shimon have a question that he wants to ask? Please unmute your mic. Or we can move on to the next raised hand. Okay. We have Rachel wants to ask a question.
Yeah, I have a question. When I go to Yankel Chaim or whatever, I have 0, not $75. Yankel.
Okay.
Like what's it do? How do I undo that?
1 second. You have 0. So within this window, which I am right now, which is customer center, and you see on the side under Chaim Yankel. So now look to the right window. What do you have? You have an invoice. You have a payment.
I have a payment of $75 because I think when you were showing to us, I thought you deposited it, or I don't know what it did.
So you have 2 payments of $75?
No, I have one payment of $150. That was the check that we did last week, I think. Then
okay, fine. So you could delete the $75. You just delete the payments. You could, that I believe, you could right-click edit transaction, but edit the $75 one.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
You edit it, and then you just press delete. So come up the
Oh, I see out there. Okay.
you delete the payment.
So then I know, I think you just went over this with the other person, but I'm just confused when I know when to deposit it or make the payment. Like, I guess maybe just this class, or I feel like in general I know, but just tonight I was a little confused, like in the beginning.
So okay, so you again, so you have a question?
Yeah, I'm like, how did we get, let's say Rabbi Y Cohn, he, like, when did we deposit $200 and where?
Oh, okay, I was doing it in the I went did you deposit? Wait, right now, what is you?
Yeah, my screen looks exactly like yours.
These are the same. Now, what
Yeah.
about your bank balance? Is your bank balance the same? If your bank balance is not the same,
1,700.
720. So you deposited, as I was demonstrating at the beginning of class. The three deposits went in, so everyone put in. Then I was demonstrating how to be, because in order to show deposit 500 in the bank for those who didn't put 500, I had to clear out the screen that showed the received payments that we did last class. So I deposited. Then I was reviewing step 3, which is to receive the payments, which is the $150 for Cohen, for those who didn't do it yet. And then I didn't go back and show those people how to redeposit that money, but that's.
Wait, so just as long as it looks the same, I'm like on the good.
Yeah, so right now it looks the same. So we're going to do a report at the end of the next class, and that's what we're going to see if all three classes come together, if everyone has the same numbers for profits, losses, expenses, etc.
Okay.
It'll be like a sum review.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see who else is here. Has questions. Okay, so we have 1 second. We have Susan. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out whether I have what you sent or not. I got one email and it shows 2 pages of things that we're doing.
Yeah, that's the paper, right?
That's the only thing that was sent.
Now, there were 2 attachments to the email. One is attachment, which is slides, which was a presentation I did
In
part
the
of the
first
presentation,
class.
first class, and we're going to start using it either next class or the following class. But right now, the main thing we're doing is a second attachment, which is those 9 steps of transactions. We completed
Right.
so far 4 of them. And the next class, we should be able to cover the rest, the 5 to 9.
And I got in the customers, and that's about it, because I was trying to get the screen
Okay,
to show me
fine.
the same.
Okay, so as a number of the things of customers and vendors mirror each other, as you will see.
Yes.
You have customer center, and it shows you what's in the customers' names, customer balances. The same way you would enter a customer, if I would press, let's say, new customer, they'll give you a field.
Same idea.
The field for amount, right? It'll give you the same idea. You create an invoice for a customer, you enter a bill for a vendor.
Right.
Right. The difference is that for the customer, it's like so the information is the same information field, but the invoice is your own customized invoice. So when I create an invoice, the only way to create invoices is I have to prepare items before. That's why we have to have the first step of the class, which is these are the only items we could sell. We could sell services of these 4 items. We could put as many quantities as we want, but this is what we offer these 4 services. As far as, and then we could offer the terms of payment. We want them to pay, in 15 days, 30 days, etc. You give a discount for paying quicker. We'll explain the terms another time. That's the invoice for a customer, and then we receive payments. And on the vendor side, we go to we can enter bill, and in customers, I meant more detail how to put in addresses and zip codes. In vendors, I didn't put any addresses, so it goes through much faster. When you go enter bills, all you got to do is enter in the field the vendor name, the amount, and assign an account for expense. And then you just keep on doing add new. Or it's called save a new, to be precise. So even if you didn't do step 4 yet, this you might be able to do on yourself if you looked at the class. Actually, I have my started recording the class from the middle, but this section of the vendor was recorded. Any other question? Hello? I'm not sure if we lost Susan. Okay, if you have a further question, please raise your hand again. Let's see, I'm gonna look a second at the Q&A. If by mistake you made a vendor which you want to delete, is it possible? Yes, you could. The same way, everything you have to, with either your right click a mouse or you double click a mouse and you'll get this. So that's if I want the vendor center and I have Amazon, I could either delete the vendor right here, or I could edit the vendor and change him. Delete the vendor or edit vendor. That should answer Mr. Eber's question. Account for office rentals is called rent expense. That was a question I had before. Okay, that's another one. Someone says every month the list of vendors and customers change. It saves all of them. It's a cumulative thing. You could deactivate a customer if you don't want to see them all the time in the list, and reactivate. That's another thing. But in general, even if you have you made one-time sales and you sold it to 1,000 people, you'll have 1,000 customers, even though you might have a couple of regulars that keep them coming back. QuickBooks will save the names of the customers and save the names of the vendors. Someone's asking how to check deposits like mine. We did the Chase. There's only 2 deposits right now in the bank. Right now you have a $500 deposit and a deposit for $1,720. Someone has a question. I'm not sure if someone has a question. How to transfer money from a customer to my account. Not sure what that means. You don't transfer money from customers. You receive a payment and then you deposit it in the bank. You receive the payment against the invoice. If there was no invoice, if it was actual sale, that we'll do in next class. We have this thing called a sale with that invoice that's done on the spot, a sale. The same way we're going to have paying for an expense without entering a bill. That's going to be in next class. Okay. By default, every sale with an invoice is an account sale. It means if someone paid you over the phone, you're not invoicing them. You just made a sale. Invoice means you sold something and they have to bill them for payment. So every invoice starts off on an account, and then you might get the whole account paid off right away, or installments, or you have to go to collections. Hopefully not. Okay, so I think for most of the Q&A questions and the text I looked at, I'll look again. Anyone has a question that they want to talk on the audio, you could raise the hand and I will be able to enable your audio. I see here, okay, 1 second. First, I'm going to ask the people who asked one question, then we'll go back to those if it's time. Second question, so Ellie has a question. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah. Your husband's account, okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So I tried this earlier today. Step number 3, receiving payments for some of them.
Mhm.
It's led me to have a very different, not clear customer center. Like right now, I mean, you can't see my screen. When I go to customer center, I have Rabbi Cohen with a balance of 200, Mrs. Cook of 280.
Okay, Mrs. Cook, you made 2 invoices. If you go here, you'll see 2 invoices. You'll delete
I
one.
go to Mrs. Cook 1 second. It's just hard to go from Zoom to
So you highlight Mrs. Cook,
Okay, I'm gonna, okay, 1 second.
Go to your, go, you
Highlight
don't,
Mrs.
you don't,
Cook.
don't, you don't have to look at my thing. Look at your thing.
Okay, I'm
just,
highlighting
just
Mrs. Cook,
yeah.
and now what?
You'll see on the right side, there's 2 invoices for 140.
I don't see anything on the right side. When I
Yeah, yeah.
highlight, like the
Yeah,
screen
yeah.
takes up the whole thing.
I highlight Mrs. Cook. So on the left side, it shows Mrs. Cook, but you have a right side which has customer information and transactions.
Right?
So don't you see 2 invoices here?
Yeah,
The
so,
lower part.
okay, so now what do I do? Edit transaction?
No, no, yeah, but which number, for example, you have number 2, number what, number 3, 5, 7?
So when I go, the other issue is when I go to transactions, I just have Rabbi Cohen and I have Mrs. Cook 2 times and I have Ploni Almani. I don't even know where Chaim Yankel is. He's not there, even though but he is there when I look at other places.
Okay, one thing, start with one at a time. Okay, Mrs.
Okay.
Cook, you have 2 invoices for 140. That's why your total is 280. So
Okay, yeah.
you gotta delete one of your invoices.
So how do I do that?
So pick one of them, probably the higher number.
Okay,
This is the number, which number? Number 4, 5,
5.
5. So you enter it again, right click it, and it's gonna tell you edit transaction. So you go into edit transaction,
Edit
Yeah.
transaction, yeah.
and then you'll have an X on the top ribbon bar. If you go into edit transaction,
Delete.
you'll see delete, and they'll be out, and you'll X out this window here.
And save in new or save in close?
No, you delete it. Don't save it. You didn't save it. You deleted it. So just X out the window. There's nothing to save anymore. Automatically, if you take an invoice out of the sequence, it'll throw you back probably to the one before, the one after. Just X
Okay.
out. You deleted it, X out. So now
Okay,
you have
so-
Mrs. Cook is the right number, right?
Okay, so Mrs. Cook is fine because really she didn't pay anything. So then with like Rabbi Cohen,
Is it Cohen's 200? So what's the problem?
I have it for, if I go to customer,
You went on the name.
200.
It's fine. It's fine. Cohen's
He's fine. But Ploni Almoni, I have a 0.
is also fine. Now, Yanko
Because he
Cohen,
paid in cash.
maybe you created a second time, a
Well, I
second payment.
yeah.
Look on the right side. You have 1 payment or 2 payments.
What, say that again, I'm sorry.
When you highlight Chaim Yankel,
Chaim
The-
Yankel.
now
When you
have
say
on the-
highlight, like when
You
I
press-
highlight it, just goes to,
you click your mouse on the name and it will become selected. So that when I say highlight means select the name.
but my screen is so big that it doesn't do that. Like
Well,
okay.
If you
Chaim
select,
Yankel,
you select the name, it should become with like a dark bar across it showing that you
and it's green. It just says
Green.
negative 150.
also negative 150. You received extra. Again,
And then when I,
1 second.
yeah.
You hear me? It's negative 150. I go to the right window, the bottom
Okay.
right.
What do you mean like my whole screen when
Your
I
screen, wait, okay. Your screen doesn't look set up like mine.
1 second, I need to go back to your Zoom.
In customer
No,
center,
like my screen, the customer and jobs and transactions, like your left column takes up
Yeah.
my entire screen.
you see,
I-
you gotta see how you have.
Okay, so fine. I was
I
able
could
to.
drag it to the right and left.
Okay, I
drag
did it.
to-
I did it. Okay, I
Okay.
figured it out.
Fine. Now you have how many invoices and payments are on your right side?
On my right, for which
Bottom
one?
right. Well, right now we're down to the last one.
Yankel Chaim.
Yeah.
I have payments 150.
And what was the invoice? No invoice.
No
That's why
invoice.
that's why it's negative. So you-
Okay.
So go create an invoice.
So new transactions invoice.
Control I is no invoice. And I'll put invoice for Chaim Yankel. And once you create the WD with 3 hours, and it's gonna be
Save and
225.
new. Or save and close?
Nope. Save and close. It should give you a prompt saying that the customer has a credit. Do you want to apply?
Well,
to
it
them?
says you are about to post to the retained earnings account to members' equity. QuickBooks uses this account to track profits.
What? For what? What did you do there just now?
I don't, when I went to Chaim Yankel, I did web design 3 hours and I went to
Yeah.
press save and close. This customer has available credits that can be
Yeah,
applied.
yes, credit. Yes, you applied to the credit. I mean, I was going to teach you later, but in your case, you entered a payment without an invoice, it's like overpayment. Just press OK, and it'll close it to 0. The 75. I mean, now it should post $75 a balance.
Right, but then when I go to transactions,
Where's it? What do you
Can I-
see?
Okay, so now with customers, I have Cohen is 200, Mrs. Cohen is 140, Ploney is 0, Yankel is 75. If I go to,
Fine.
is transactions, does that matter or
We're
no?
not, we're not using transactions right now.
Okay,
There are a whole list of order. The first you make an estimate. Once you may give a customer an estimate, he makes a sales order, you make an invoice, he makes a saber chart. There's a lot of things here. We'll actually hear it on the invoices. It's a cheat, but you'll see here the total of amount billed and amount received. But this is for reports for next time. It's not.
but mine actually, like yours has an open balance of 415, mine has 815. I don't know why. I did 400 somewhere.
Well, you looked on the list. There's only 4 invoices. It's 600, 140, 670, 225.
So I have 1635, but the open balance is different.
What's your open balance?
815, even though 600, 140, 1 second. What do you have? 600. Oh, because you're Rabbi Cohen. 1 second. Your Rabbi Cohen is, wait, that is so weird.
What? Okay, go back to. I didn't. Rabbi Cohen. How many invoices you have for him? 1 or 2?
Rabbi Cohen, customer. Rabbi
You probably
Cohen.
made him 2 invoices, 600.
Rabbi Cohen has an invoice for 600 and payment of 400 undeposited funds.
Okay. So the total, if you have uncollected 200 from Rabbi Cohen and 140 from Mrs. Cook is 340, and you have $75 uncollected from Yankel Chaim, it adds up. This is a calculator. You have 200, 140, 75 is 415. How
But
do you
was
get
I
that?
supposed to, with the payment, was I supposed to do something with it? Was I supposed to check it and do, or no?
You did, the numbers is off too much. It doesn't make sense. I don't see how you have 815 in this number here.
Let me
In
see.
general, I mean, transactions is not a window we went through
I
yet.
just
So
figured it because I didn't check it. Now I don't know what I did, but now it's 415. So
okay, fine,
it's under 8. Thank you.
not a problem. Okay, a second. Let's see, where am I here? And participants. Okay, we had Fleischer. Okay.
Yes, okay, so I had my question answered. I wanted to know how you delete a wrong number that you put in, but okay, you explained it to somebody else.
Okay, that's why I tell everyone to stay on, because then I'm going to get an email tomorrow. Please explain me how to do something, and then I have to type it out. So and it's the same question which I'm answering now.
Right, now my question is also by all the customers. It says number 1, 2, 3, 4. What does that mean? It
That's
means,
invoice number. They're invoice numbers.
in other words, it's customer number 1, customer number 2.
No, not customers. It's invoice number. That means this is the way we entered it originally. Put in Chaim Yankel. He's number 1. He's not customer number 1. He's invoice number 1. So if I make Control I again, I'm going to have a number 5 because it's the 5th invoice.
Mhm.
See, it's 5th invoice, and this is also, you want to track your invoices. You want to know how many sales you have. Sometimes you could bill 20 invoices, and then someone could delete 3 of them, and pocketing private money if they know how to collect it. It's part of the security features. Every invoice has a number sequentially, and you have to account for the money in that invoice.
Yeah, and what does it mean aging? The numbers like 5, 5, 4. What does it mean?
What do you see? Show me
On that same screen, where it said numbers, so it says date, due date, and then aging. What does aging mean?
Wait, you have
This
number, date.
customer center.
Oh, you're not in the you're in this.
Go to
this
customer center, not over there where you are.
Oh, the homepage.
Not the homepage, where you have all the customers.
So this is customer center.
Center.
So on this side. So you talk about.
Okay, no, but I don't see it. No, let me just tell you where it is. 1 minute. It says transactions, let's say. By transaction.
But this tab here of transactions, and on the right side of customers and jobs.
Right. So.
So I tell you, I didn't even.
Yeah, you see it says aging 555. What is that?
Okay, so first of all, the answer is 5 days. But I tell you what, people ask me a question. I didn't I didn't discuss at all this transactions tab. So I'm getting questions. I did get questions on what I actually taught, not on what I didn't teach, because
Okay, I was just wondering.
yeah, it's gonna confuse people. Like even the person before has asked me a question, what do you see in the totals over here? We'll discuss these numbers. We're gonna do reports next week. I mean, on Wednesday. Right now, I'm trying to teach some steps and make sure everyone understands the parts that I'm teaching. And we'll get to other features. Like I have people from companies asking me, how do I do this for my company? I said, I'm teaching QuickBooks. I'm not tech support for a company.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, and can you show
Okay.
exactly how you did the quick add again? You know, when we were recording what is it?
You mean by a vendor?
Yeah, the expenses. How did you do the quick add?
So let's say I was doing a bill. Okay, the same thing as a customer will be what I did bill tracker, sorry. Whether I did a new customer or a new vendor would be all the same thing. I'm just going to type in, what's it called? Let's say Goldberg's. I'm just going to type in something which doesn't exist anymore, right? I mean, it doesn't exist yet in my thing. And I press tab. It's going to ask me, do I want to set up, which means
Press tab. That's
all
what.
information and quick. In general, tab takes you from field to field. It goes forward. Shift tab takes you from field to field, but in reverse. That's what if you look at the shortcuts on page 2, they're very helpful because when you're doing all these numbers, sometimes you could get by without even using a mouse. Using a keyboard, you could do, we discussed the Control A for chart of accounts. We did Control I, and next time we'll discuss the W, and we'll also discuss some of the dates. But if you go further down, we have tab.
What are the shortcuts? What is that? My shortcuts. What is that?
You'll see tab. You see tab. How do you go forward from fields? Do I got to take my mouse and circle around and go from here, then circle around and go to here, and then circle to another thing? Press tab. You go from place to place faster.
Okay, but when I press my shortcuts on the left side, I get like estimates, sales order, invoices. What is that?
We didn't discuss that, my shortcuts. We have to, I'll take part by part, right? I do gradually. First, invoice and customers.
Okay, I hear you.
The complexity grows with the familiarity with the program.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. Okay. So I think Mordechai got a chance yet to speak over here. So let's see. Hello?
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So where you were just a moment ago in transaction and under invoices, so my open balance says 490 and the amount says 1235.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you could compare what's supposed to be to what you have, but again, I did not do
640. Oh, the amount is 270. I plan on money instead of 670, so that's wrong. And then the open balance is 150 instead of 75. I'm not sure.
Wait, it has to grow. You can add $400 now to the thing. So how could open balance only be?
Open balance by
because it's going to be zeros. Yes, it's not going to change. You could make 670 become, 270 become 670. As long as there's zero, it's not going to change your open balance. It's fine, but your bank deposit is going to be off because you didn't put in $400 extra.
Right. Yeah. So
who again, you have to look at your numbers and see why is Cohen not 200, why is Cook not if it's 140, and why is Yankel Chaim not 75.
So I have Rabbi Cohen 200, 140, 0, and 75.
So what's your total open balance? You said you had 200.
Open 490.
Do you have two? Then you have 275s. You can't have these three numbers only add up to 415.
Right.
These three don't add up to the 490. So again, you have 200, you have 140. Do you have 2 times 75 or 1 times 75?
I have a payment for 150.
That's fine, but His bill was 225. You make him a second.
Right. That's what I have. An invoice for 225 and a payment for 150.
Okay. If you these 200, 140, and 75 is what 415. If you're telling me you see 490, you must have a fifth number. Scroll up and down. That's just
200, 140, and 150, it says.
oh, you have open balance 150, so you didn't receive 150. Your balance is 150. You received only 75 payment.
Right. So
Okay, I change your payment to 150.
that's what I have. I have when I go to customer information, it's
Okay,
invoice.
go back to over here. What does Yanko Chaim say? 75 or 150?
75.
How many customers you have?
4.
And you have 200, 140, and 75?
0 and 75. Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible you didn't apply his payment to his bill properly. If you go into Yanko Chaim, you see 220. It says same thing, 225, 150.
225 and 150. Yeah.
Double click
Account
on
receivables.
double click on the 150. Does it show that it's all applied? If you have amount due and payment, is the payment 150?
Oh no, the payment says 75.
So you didn't receive 150. It's only 75.
So it's supposed to be 150.
Yeah, that's what it says in step.
So why? Oh, interesting. So why did it only apply to? I say it says applied 150. Why did that happen?
I don't know what.
Okay. Now also by the deposits, the only deposit that I had was the 500. How do I add the other
So now you
deposit?
go banking, make deposits, banking, make deposits,
Mhm.
and it should come up a square where it has your 3 payments that you received. You see that? Not by me, I'm blank because I already deposited.
I see 4 names: Pliny, Almighty, Cohen, Cook, and Yankel. With nothing else there.
Not by customers. Banking, make
deposit.
banking, make deposits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't come up a screen with a square with 3 payments there.
No.
Okay.
I see 4 names, but they don't say any deposits. Deposits to Chase.
Okay, I'm going to delete my deposits. It's not going to take money out of the system. So now, again, I have $500 in the bank, right?
I don't see that
Oh,
screen.
okay. Do you see my screen that I have $500 in the bank?
Yeah.
I just deleted my deposit. Now I go banking, make deposits.
Make deposits.
Will come up a little box like this. Payments to deposits. So first
No,
thing,
that's not.
you have the payments.
Why is banking make deposits?
Yeah,
I don't get that screen.
So check, Visa, and these are the 3 payments. I select them and I deposit them.
No, I'm not getting that screen for some reason. Just says on the left side says received from the 4 names, but everything else is blank.
Again, so close that back, X that window. I tell you, when you ignore the first window, it brings it blank again. X out, make deposits, X out, you see window, X this, X such a window.
Okay.
Look still and go back into banking, make deposits.
Okay, now banking, make deposits. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Now it comes up, right?
Yeah, 270, 150, and 400.
670. Don't make the mistake. Go back to Polonium money. You got to change him. His invoice was 670 and you received 670. Because if you don't fix it now, the next class you'll be $400 off in both ends.
Okay, so how do I?
Yeah, go back to Polonium money, edit his invoice. This you don't have to be go into his invoice, double check that you entered the service items, how many BKs. You didn't bill him for GC times 4. You only billed him for BK. Look at step 3, part 4.
How do I edit the invoice?
You can double click the invoice, like everything. Double click the invoice. You'll have to add GC, put in 4 instead of 4 hours.
Invoices. Why Why am I not seeing the?
You have the curriculum in front of you?
What?
You see, you have the curriculum?
Yeah.
You have step 3, subpart 2. And entering transaction, you see creating the 4 invoices. See part 4, see pulling out money.
What number again?
3, section 2.
Before is the for customers. Yeah. BK9 and GC4. Okay.
Yeah, so you did it. You have to put GC4. You double click the invoice. You put in the line GC and 4. You save and close. Then you have to go back to the payment. And you got to adjust the payment to be the full amount.
I'm not finding where I could edit the invoice.
You got to double click the invoice. It's very simple. Yeah, go to the right side and double click.
Customer center.
So again, you select Pony Money, you go to the right side, you see his invoice. If you have a question, you could, that's why I'm here on the Zoom. You could see what I'm doing. You could look on your own software, or you could see what I'm doing. You could highlight Pony Money, double click his invoice, and you go in.
When I double click, it takes me to the customer name.
No.
Take me to his invoice.
Double click the invoice. Okay, double click his invoice.
Oh, still. I was on the same page as you. When I click on.
Try it again. You're by customer center, by the customer, right?
Yeah.
Look at the screen of my shared screen.
Yeah, I see.
You see the
Customer
invoice? See the invoice?
No invoices pop up for some reason.
On the bottom right, Pony Money.
Oh, so let's say, did I forget to put in the invoice?
Well, how did you get the first 270? You didn't
Right.
build anything with him?
I don't know.
You had him.
Right. So now I don't see the invoice or the payment. When I click on Plenty on Money, the
bottom right is all empty.
Yeah.
Okay, go back to transactions. Who do you see in the transaction?
Transaction invoices.
Yeah.
Plenty on Money. Amount 270. Open balance 0.
Okay, double click it over there. What's the difference? You could double click it from there.
Okay. Probably you're trying to view through a different invoice, but you already have one open. Solution you can save the discussion.
Oh, so you did open. So press continue, whatever you're doing there. Continue
editing.
Yeah, continue editing.
Okay.
And you see in the invoice that says 270 and paid?
No, it's just a blank invoice.
Okay.
For Plenty on Money.
I did not say create a new invoice. So exit out, go back. Wherever you saw it in transactions, right? You saw in transactions, you saw an invoice that says 270.
Amount says 270, yeah.
Right.
Invoices for Plenty on Money.
So double click that line. It'll bring you up an invoice number 4.
Oh yeah, okay. So here I see it, and it only has
only BK. I thought you said
BK.
You go to the second line, put in GC, put in the 4.
GC and 4. Got it. Okay.
Okay, and press save and close.
GC 4 for $100. Save and close.
Now you have to go. Now you have to go back to the payment. You have to go to.
Now it says 670. Okay, good.
Okay, now you have to go back and you want. Sorry, it's here. Customer. You're by customer center, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're by Pony Money. What's his He shows now a balance of $400.
He has a balance of $0.
See, you never made the invoice with plenty of money. You probably put the, what's Cohen's invoice? What's Cohen's?
200.
Yeah, what's Cook?
140.
What's Yankel Chaim?
75.
Okay, so you might have created a not a customer. You might have created another name. Because you only have 4 people here, right?
Right.
And you don't have you have a pony money that's 0
Yep.
with look at the right side over here where it's do you see, and you don't see any invoice or payment.
No.
That's strange. Okay. Okay. I don't think I'll be able to solve this moment because let's do it here. Okay, unless I'm just gonna finish the class in 2 minutes. Let's see here. Try again. Let's look at transactions a second again. What's your open? What was your amount over here in the amount column?
It says 1635.
What do you
The
have?
other one says 815.
Open balance of 815.
Um,
Yeah, you have to adjust. So
Oh, because plenty of money now says 400.
it does say 400. That's what I asked you. But why isn't that showing up
Now for open balance it says 400.
over here? So then you show the same thing on the left side, but like with customers and jobs. Doesn't show here $400.
No, it says 0.
That's the total doesn't make sense. After I can't see a screen, but what can I say? Receive payments. Who do you see here? Go to receive payment line.
Receive payments.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people.
There is only 3 people that you receive payments from. Well, how much you got from Cohen?
400.
Yeah, plenty of money. 270.
270.
Double click.
270.
Double click it, and you'll change it to 670. But it's gonna for now. It's gonna be a mystery why it's not showing up in the other tab. Okay, so what did it say? Ploni Amoni. As a customer, we drop him down. He's a customer.
Money.
By you, when you drop down, we see that 270. Double click. Is he a customer?
Second. Customer job, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Double click this thing to all because you have 270. You click it off and click it back on. It should highlight the payment to be 670.
Click it and then click it back. Okay, now
Yeah.
it says 670.
Good. Save and close, and you should have the same thing. Right?
Now it says 1220 and 0. Amount is 1220 and the unapplied amount is 0.
What 1220?
The amount on the received payments is 400, 670, and 150. Yeah, like you have.
Okay, fine. No problem. Okay. Fine. Slacha.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. MA has a question.
Yeah, I asked to send me the last class that I missed. That's why I didn't plug in everything, all the items and the payments. So if you can send me possibly a recording so I can.
Again, you have to tell the office. Well, I present the course. The office gives out the license numbers. They give out the codes. They'll be able to. What?
What's the BK and how much per hour?
You don't have the you have the curriculum?
I don't have it in front of me now.
Okay. No, did you get it in the email?
I don't think so.
Did you get any email with presentation and slide sheets?
The slide sheets? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, so then they have to email the office. I don't have, I get, every now and then update emails, but from day to day, if something changes, I don't update, email lists.
Okay, I'll ask them for the slides.
So that's why I copy them on what I send out. So if there's an issue, I'm available even for sometimes a few extra minutes after the class to talk things, but I can't just sit and have a full-time job answering emails about a class that I gave. So the class is a class. I'll answer questions and answers, and then afterwards, there's a recording. Sometimes it's available, sometimes it's not. I don't deal with it. That's in the office.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Menachem, I think you were there before. You have something quick to ask?
Yeah, the amount dues. Now that I corrected the deposit, should the amount dues be all good?
What?
Now that I corrected the deposits, should the amount dues match yours? Because earlier they weren't.
Well, if you match it to match me, then if you match, that's not what the question is. It's automatically.
Are you able to show me? Are you able to show me it?
Okay, it's a simple
Show me-
question. You
show
can ask me
me
to show it
what
to
you
you.
have.
That I can guess. So you can ask me to show it to you. 1 second. Share banking. Is this your banking balance?
So
Hello?
yeah, second. No,
What's total your balance?
that's what I think. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Banking,
Banking, going to the register from Chase.
use register. Chase. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you very
Have a good
much
night.
for joining, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you, Mr. Shem, on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Hold of.